Alright guys, we're going to do a couple knife techniques, and keeping with some of the stuff that we've done in the analysis videos, keeping with that same principle, cutting that angle, we're going to go ahead and just demonstrate a couple things. So first off, like we talked about, the dangerous part of the knife is just this. Okay, the same thing can be said about a gun. The dangerous part is from this that way. So if I can get inside and be able to control the arm, then that gives me an advantage. So from this type situation, what I'm looking to do is, I'm confronted with somebody, he's going to come out with the knife, he's looking to stab, whatever the situation calls for, and as he comes in, I have a couple of different options. Now, some of the military Combatives programs, McMap, I'm not sure about MACP, SOCP. I know the McMap program really focuses on hollowing out, and I'm going to create a wide, essentially funnel with my hand. So as he comes in, I'm going to hollow out, and I'm going to grab a hold so that my fingers will actually guide that arm into that socket so that I can actually trap the wrist. From here, I can control the arm. The problem is, and why I don't teach this technique, is that this hand is still open and I am essentially using two hands to lock up one when I'm still essentially in that kill box. So as he comes in, I get here, he then begins to fire punches. After I go unconscious, he just retraces with the knife and stabs me. So one of the things that I like to do is, in the knife techniques that I do, I like to have multiple redundancies. So I'm not just going to stand here and as he comes at me, just block. I'm also going to get offline. So instead of just blocking and getting offline this way, in which case he just pivots his hip and comes right back in, what I want to actually do is, as he comes in and I block, I actually want to cut that angle on that 45 so that I'm not just moving laterally out of the direction of the knife, but I'm also moving past the blade of the knife. So the same principle that we've done with the gun, the same thing that we've done with hand-to-hand, all these same principles apply with the knife as well. So as he comes in, I'm moving off, and what I'm doing is I'm blading my body and redirecting. Now, some people will teach that X block, and they'll teach it in a manner that kind of like the McMap, hollow out technique, where they're just doing this number and they're just blocking. Again, if this individual is more aggressive, if he's coming in with any amount of force, he could potentially just drive right through me. I'm not a real big fan of that. So once again, the reason why we get offline. So as he comes in, I move offline. I'm blading myself, but I'm also maintaining 2 points of contact on that attacking arm. From here, because I have contact, I don't need to see the knife. I can feel that arm. So this allows me to grab, and now I control the entire arm. Alright? The same principle can be applied with a gun as well. If I catch him in the draw and he presents, I'm moving offline here, now I can control the arm. Alright? We do a little bit different technique, but it's the same principle. I want to move past the dangerous part, get past it, and then control the arm. Now the part of the arm that moves the least is the shoulder. So particularly with a knife, when you have some guys who are out there and they're just doing this number and so on and so forth, trying to show you that you can't catch their arm, understand that as I move around, my shoulder is not moving at all. So if I start at the shoulder and I track down the arm, I will always find the rest of the arm. This is one of the reasons why we cut that 45, and I actually link shoulder to shoulder on him. So as he comes in, I move off and I'm trapping shoulder to shoulder. Now I've got the arm. I can lock into an arm lock here and drop him the same way that we've done some of the other techniques. So, one more time, he comes in, I blade off, I can trap that arm, I can also keep this arm and be able to shove and get to my tools. So something to think about. You guys can work on that technique. Remember that it's not just enough to get offline. It is much, much better if I get offline and I get to a safe area. With a knife, you either want to be really outside of his dangerous zone, or I want to be really inside. I prefer to be inside because it allows me to control the body. I cannot control anything in a retreat mode. I am completely dependent on him to either pursue or not. But once I get inside, I can absolutely control everything about him. So that's one of the reasons why we adopt this technique. All right, train hard.